The forest was silent. Not peaceful, wrong. The kind of silence that presses against your skin, making your heartbeat sound too loud. No birds, no rustling leaves. Even the river whispered like it was afraid. The Johnson family had learned to live without sound. Sand paths cushioned their footsteps, fabric wrapped around every door hinge, and communication was reduced to hand signs, because even a breath too loud meant death. They crouched on the porch that night. Linda pressed a finger to her lips, signaling her son Ryan to stay quiet. Something moved in the trees. The air seemed to shiver. A branch broke. Not them. Something else. From the tree line burst a black, lean creature, taller than a man, all claws and wet muscle. It slammed into a deer. The sound was sickening, ribs cracking like dry wood, flesh ripping wetly. The creature unfolded its head like a fleshy flower, its tooth-lined petals dripping blood, listening for more noise. Then it melted back into the dark. Ryan trembled. Linda squeezed his arm. Silence was survival. Inside, their kitchen walls were lined with old newspaper clippings. Monsters hunt by sound. Sound, death. Massacre in Main Street. Linda remembered the first night they came. Her husband whispered her name. A creature tore through the door and ripped his jaw clean off. The crunch still haunted her. Ryan signed, "I want to kill them." "They don't die easy," she replied. A neighbor once fired a gun at one. The shot drew 3 more. They found only pieces of him afterward, but something was changing. More creatures lurked in the fields lately. The forest felt crowded. Silence wouldn't save them forever. The mistake came the next night. Linda was in the basement canning food when she heard a small clink upstairs. Her heart froze. Glass? Metal? She crept up the stairs. Ryan stood near the table, tears streaking his face. A lantern lay on its side, having rolled into the chair with a tiny ding. Outside, something screeched. The clicking started in the tree line, fast, overlapping, 3 of them. Linda grabbed Ryan's arm. They slipped down into the basement, pulling the trapdoor softly closed. She pressed her hand over his mouth, trying to smother the terrified whimpers. Above, the roof shook. Nails scraped shingles, windows rattled. A wall cracked with a splintering scream of wood. The first creature smashed through the kitchen. Its claws clattered across the tiles. Another followed, then another. Their heads opened, petals of teeth quivering, listening. One brushed the lantern. Ping. They went berserk. Cabinets shredded. The refrigerator folded in on itself. Blood still on their claws smeared across walls. Downstairs, Linda held Ryan as dust rained from the ceiling. Then, sniffing. The trapdoor creaked. A claw punched through. The creature's face split open, glistening with old blood. Linda held her breath. Ryan let out a tiny sob. It struck like lightning. Linda grabbed his arms. His body arched as its teeth sank into his thigh, bones snapping with a wet crunch. His scream died in her palm. The creature ripped through the trapdoor, snatched Ryan by the leg, and dragged him upward. The creature split his abdomen, intestines uncoiling like red ropes. Blood spattered the stairs. Linda sat in the basement, hands slick with her son's blood, while upstairs, the creatures feasted. The house echoed with the sounds of tearing flesh, slurping guts, snapping bones. She didn't cry. For days, she drifted through the blood-stained house. Ryan's skull lay split like a melon on the floor. His intestines dangled from the sink. The smell soaked into everything. She stared at the old radio in the corner. She remembered the sound. A high frequency once made the creatures shriek and back away. She'd never dared to use it before. But now, nothing to lose. She set the speaker in the barn, connected the generator, turned the volume high, and flipped the switch. The shriek filled the night. The woods erupted. They came in a black tide of muscle and claws, cutting through the cornfield like knives. Linda stood in the doorway, soaked in dried blood, holding a sharpened iron spike. The first creature lunged. The sound drove them mad, their heads splitting wider, quivering in agony. She rammed the spike through the soft flesh beneath the teeth, blood spraying warm on her face. Another creature hit her from the side, claws tearing across her back like razors. She screamed. That single scream called the rest. Dozens rushed in. She stabbed, slashed, ripped them apart, the barn drowning in the sound of shrieking beasts. Black blood painted the walls. One creature bit off her arm at the elbow. She swung the spike with the other, driving it deep into its throat. Guts burst, spraying across the floor. The creatures convulsed in the sonic wave, skulls cracking open like overripe fruit. Linda fell to her knees among the twitching carcasses. She was torn open too, bleeding out. For the first time in a year, the silence that followed didn't terrify her. She lay down in the gore, whispering the only word left to her. Ryan. Then the world went quiet.